Audacity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's made by
And
the
what is
same
it?
people. It's just...
You can wear the headphones if you want to, because it's actually quite... when you get your voice right.
oh, I see.
Yeah. When you get your voice right, then you kind of...
Much better.
When you move away from it, you're like, oh, wait, crap, I must come back to the mic.
I got you.
Yeah. So what is Dark Audacity?
Dark Audacity is purely just... Audacity is just a dark version of it.
Okay.
I like it because it says Dark Audacity.
Fair point.
But and it's also, but it's a little bit different. But
Yes.
I think this one's got more features
Okay.
because that one's not as, it was like a project, and then
Yes.
yeah.
So this one actually, so this is Tenacity, which is a knockoff, an open source knockoff of Audacity.
Okay.
So I think Audacity started as a like open source project.
Yeah. Yes.
Then somewhere along the line, there's obviously an ideological shift or something,
Gotcha.
and it split off into Tenacity. Audacity carried on, and then but like pretty much everything still works.
Yeah. Same.
Between the two. So
Yeah,
if you get like the AI plugins for Audacity works on Tenacity.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I record in Tenacity. I find it records a bit more fluent.
Okay.
Or like fluid, it's just easier to use. And then I edit in Audacity.
When you edit, are you using Control B?
How do you mean?
So Control B is basically for labels.
Oh no, dude! I have 2 tracks, mate. I don't have to label anything.
No, it's cool. So this is what happens when you. So I do it. So I get something like let's say a full album.
Yeah.
Are we recording now?
Yeah.
Oh, we are recording.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a conversation, bro.
So as you're busy, like you got a full album.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to cut the whole thing up.
Yeah.
So what you'll do is you'll see dips, dips, and dips. So you go Control B, and then wherever the marker is, that's where you label track 1, track 2, track 3, and then when you go to file afterwards, and then you just go export as multiple, all tracks.
Oh, cool.
So, like for instance, this thing.
Yeah, I could do chapters and that kind of thing if
Exactly,
I wanted to.
yeah.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
So
Nice. Well, dude,
Yes,
Rean,
yes,
welcome to the podcast, mate.
thank you.
I think it's been a long time coming. We've known each other forever.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, we randomly met in a music shop, I think.
yeah,
In Marshall Music. Yeah. Way back in the day. I was starting my AV company and I was looking for gear.
Yeah.
And Marshall was like down the road because I was in Marina de Gama at that stage.
Exactly.
And then, came around there. And then it was just like fast friends.
Yeah, no, of course. Like
Bond.
minds and just super glue.
Bond over instruments and musical equipment and
Like, have you seen this?
dude, yeah. I remember running in when there was a guy, I think he was the drum tech at that shop. I can't remember, but he was a bit of a Blink fan.
Yeah, that's Lawrence.
Was it Lawrence? No,
Yeah.
it wasn't Lawrence. It was another one. I remember Lawrence was the long haired.
Yeah.
He's now in Germany or whatever else.
Joburg, then Germany.
Yeah. There was another guy. So maybe I wasn't drum tech then. Maybe it was, I don't know. But I remember when Neighborhoods from Blink came out, which was like that album that no one saw coming.
Yeah.
And I remember going, damn, I need to go. And I ran. I was like, and I went to the shop and we like played music there in the shop. It was so much fun, man.
I think that could have been Damien, no?
Possibly, yeah.
Shorty.
Yeah.
Because Damien then ended up he's teaching now at Rhythm.
Oh, cool.
Even he's Damien. And I think he was with some glam metal band at the time.
Well, that
and
makes sense.
They used to do the whole Poison, Unskinny Pop vibe, that kind of thing. But with a bit more edgier sort of thing. And then I think you got into like a trap drum metal band and then into some like very, very heavy band. And he's done a lot of session work. I think he's also done some stuff with Rudimentals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Jeez. But it's amazing. I mean, like you're a career DJ pretty much.
Yes.
Is the way we'd explain you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also one of those. I always classify DJs, like if I look at it and I go, there's different ways of DJing. So you get your club DJs and they're your traditional guy pitches up, is 2 vinyl bags back
in the day,
show our age a little bit here.
Flash stick now.
Yep. Flash, yeah, it is, yeah. And it's been like that for a long time already.
Yeah.
But pulls in plays a club, goes home.
Yeah.
Then you get maybe your corporate type DJs who are like a crossover, because those guys sometimes will do the clubs, sometimes do the corporates.
Yeah.
Then you get your wedding and party DJs.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that actually make the money, because everyone thinks like the club DJs are making all the money.
I think because you live the Paul van Dyk dream and the Dave Guetta dream, that's where you think, these guys are making stupid money, and you think about like locally, but you think about Black Coffee and that, and Zakes Bantwani and all those cats, and then you think also like, wow, these guys are asking so much for.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Socks and Tira, and I mean, those are back when I was DJing, and that was a long time ago. I mean, I was 19, 20, 21 when I started. They were billing in the tens of thousands for a 3-hour set, you know.
The last gig that I did for just before COVID started, So my last gig was one of the worst gigs I could have ever done. Now, everything that could go wrong went wrong. So I was at Bel Air, which is out in Paul, and
Paul's still like 20 odd Ks.
Yeah, still a bit further down. But I was like looking at my GPS and it was saying, on your way to Paul. So yeah, Paul, it's closer.
This is beyond the Boerewors curtain.
Exactly. Yeah,
far beyond.
So so Dave and Dave, my colleague. So Dave and myself, we're there and we're doing this thing, and it's Zakes Bantwani. It's playing that night, and I think he charged in like 30K for that particular wedding, and but this wedding was just something out of, I don't know, like a movie, because like I said, everything that could go wrong went wrong. It was like 34 degrees the day. Okay. Really? It starts off outdoors ceremony, and you know how it goes there.
Yes.
So now sun's beating down, and it's an African wedding, so there are loads of people. And they had this lady called Abby, and she used to sing back in the day with Ivan Shaka Shaka, and with what's her name? Weekend Special, Brenda Fassie.
Yes.
So she headlined with those, and she's on that sort of. I'm very with hands. Yeah. She's very very well known in that scene.
Yeah.
And for that, so she's a local legend. And she gets there and she's singing for the ceremony. The bride is 4 hours late.
No.
And she's singing. Eventually, they had a marimba band for canapes, and eventually the marimba band had to come down. All the drinks that were for canapes also came down because people were just sweating. It was so hot. And then eventually this lady comes. But now the priest is also, he just goes.
Yeah.
It's already late.
Yeah.
And he's just going and going and going.
Well, he's got his captive audience.
No, he does, but he's just not stopping. And eventually somebody had to sort of, and then anyway, so they now go to canapes, and they had to set up canapes while ceremony was happening, because as I said, everything had to be brought down. The marimba band now also started migrating back up, and we found out that the guy that was getting married, some high up in the ANC. And anyway, it goes on and on. And they're now doing the canapes. Canapes was also late. Chef's pulling his hair out because food's getting cold. And anyway, it just keeps going. It keeps going, dude. And now they're doing speeches.
Yeah.
So there's 4 dignitaries at this wedding. And one of them is Zuma's first wife, Nkosazana. So it's the first lady of the country, and she's there as well. They talking about water that is not fit to drink, and this is now the wedding speeches.
What?
Dude, Zakes, he said, no, they didn't allow the band to go. The band had a gig afterwards at Mama Africa. No, you can't leave because you're going to spoil my wedding. And the band had to just sit there, and they were like, because they hadn't been paid the final amount yet. So they were bound to just sit there, dude. It goes on where these guys are talking 11:45. The place closes at 12. They stop, and then Zakes comes in and plays 2 songs.
Done deal.
The problem was that they couldn't ask him to come in. They had to take food to him, because if he had to come in, that would be like Dave Guetta walking in at the wedding. It's like,
oh, it would have been chaos.
Yeah. People would have just lost it. So he comes in and people's like, "Oh, he's Zex," and he starts playing and he's like getting a nice vibe going. And as he's getting a vibe going, Dave has to go over to him and like says, "Dude, you unfortunately, I've got bad news for you. I can see that you are now amped to play, but it's done."
Yeah, we're done. But I mean, that's it. Like picking your venue when you especially. I mean, weddings go late. I've done. I always say like I've done like 1,000 weddings, and I'm pretty sure I'm close. You know, if maybe not. I'd say between weddings and like actual events, like
you cut your teeth on it.
Yeah, I've done so many. You know, it is
together
like,
actually. Yeah.
Together we've done tons. Yeah, but there's always something that goes wrong. It's always something that's the day's too hot, or it's raining, or like the bride pitches up like 4 hours is that's a bit excessive.
It was messed up.
And then the venues are hard ass because there's sound issues and neighbors. And I mean, you played. I had Louis here a while back, so we chatted about that. And I think you played at Eitzig.
Yeah.
So they had the venue in the front. And I think I booked you to play, and it was the last wedding that they ever did there. It was, and there were other DJs that came in that were playing too loud, and the neighbors always used to complain or whatever else. And whenever we played, it was fine.
No, it was fine. Yeah,
we never had complaints. And so then we lost that venue. Then we moved back to that other venue in the
was it Sante?
Back. Yeah, Sante was before that. Yeah. And yes, we did it. Yeah, we did a ton at Sante. Yeah. That was just after we met. I mean, we started, because as we started chatting, I started getting the gigs out there. And then it was party.
Party. Well, I still got. I've got a closer on that cuck day, dude. So, Dave's car breaks down on the night. He has to get a flatbed, so we have to pack everything into his caddy, and then this flatbed has to take him onto the back of this. Then my mom calls me and says, "When you get home, or when you leave, come home." And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, you don't want to get a message like that, because now, what's the Afrikaans word? Jy vreet kop. And I'm there and I'm like, Dave saying, dude, go. And I'm like, no, she said it's fine. I must just get there afterwards. And he's like, no, dude, that doesn't sound right. Go. I can deal. And I'm like, but your car's not starting. Like, you just bought the car. And, and just everything that could go wrong went wrong. I get home and I get information that something very, very bad had happened. Yeah. I'll tell you off mic. Yeah. But something very bad had happened. And it was just then Monday, COVID. Lockdown. Dude. Jeez. And then we were out of commission. I mean, we were actually riding the crest of the wave, because am I allowed to mention names and stuff on here?
Up to you. As long as you're not slandering anyone.
No, I'm not slandering. So our company, that DJ guy was and was actually just picking up, and we were doing quite well. And then this, and we just, and as COVID goes on, I'm just checking people selling the gear, and I'm thinking, no.
Yeah, that looks no.
No, I don't know how long this is going to go on for.
Yeah.
So, no. And then we had to sort of balance things out between Megan and myself. It was just, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I will leave the rest now to you. You can ask questions. I think I've blabbered enough.
This is the whole thing, bro. That's what we talk about.
It's organic.
I mean, I enjoy... So the wedding stories are always great.
Yeah.
I love them because, I mean, I think of like the most favorite wedding that I've ever done, or at least one of the weirdest ones. But there's like some of the story I can't tell because it's very rude.
No, of course.
But there's like other parts where we're in like, but old school, so marquee tent, not this new stretch nonsense. Like steel frame, like and 300 people, like big job, and myself and I had another guy, and this was like I worked with a company which was quite big in Pietermaritzburg, and they did like live events, they did DJing, and so somehow I ended up doing events, and I cut my teeth for that guy on 13th birthday parties at a private school.
Got you.
For all the chicks. So one chick had a 13th birthday party. And then after that, every single...
It was trendy.
Like every Friday, I was driving out into the Midlands and going to the school, playing a 3-hour set, which was just pretty much like bump. You know, it was like 2 bump CDs, and it was like, okay, we can't play the songs in order because they'll know, but it was just like, okay, doop, Britney Spears, doop,
there you go,
Backstreet Boys, doop, this oak, that
all
oak,
the sing-alongs,
all the sing-alongs, and then, this oak booked myself and another guy who was more like a senior guy, but he was more of a club DJ than a,
got you.
Like he was more of a club DJ, so off we go, 300-person wedding. Right, we pulled bass bins in for a wedding, which was great. Whenever you're pulling bins in, then you're playing, you're enjoying yourself. And we're doing the like the actual ceremony, like Cool Bananas. That's all happening. And I hear a little bit of thunder. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. And then I'm like, oh crap, it's raining. Drop, 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 drop.
God, speakers.
Yeah, and everything. So like when we had speakers and mics and all of that outside, so we're watching. The Padre gets the hint and was like, okay, cool, wrap this thing up. Do you, yes. Okay, cool, kiss the bride. Let's go,
yeah.
We get our gear into the tent and the heavens just open. Boom. It's like a solid sheet of water. This is KZN, so it rains. And nothing on the news or anything, or like the weather lady didn't say squat, and we didn't have apps back then, so And anyway, so we set all our gear up. The stands are all in like 2 inches of water. The tunnies are now, they're all like naught. We're out of the high heels because they're just sinking in the ground.
Yeah, of course.
And everyone's chilling, but there's a hiss. Everyone was like, well, we're here. We're going to party. Like, we don't care. We're going to party.
We're committed.
Yeah. So we're playing the background music, and, you start building, start building the vibe. Like you do. I think people don't know how much goes into it, but I want to we'll get to that. And so we're building the vibe. We start playing a couple of beats of a couple of tunes with a bit of beat to them. Speeches are happening, cha's happening, dop is flowing.
Yeah.
Lekker. That's first dance. There's a windsurfing lekker. And then bang, we start. And it's like from minute 1, 200 people on the dance floor, just like a club.
No, of
nuts.
course.
So we jamming. And then we were about 2 hours in. And it's very rare that compared to nowadays. Nowadays, weddings are very different. It's like they come in waves of dancing. Back then, you could play a 6-hour set at a wedding. Yeah. You're dancing. 50% of the crowd the whole time.
No, exactly.
And we check a bunch of oaks on the one side of the tent, and there's a bit of a hubbub, and the floor kind of empties. And we're like, what the? Okay, carry on. And then next thing, I look up, and this tent was angled down to me. These guys had scaled the side of the tent. They found a rope which was tied to the top, and they climbed to the top.
They're climbing on it.
They got to the top,
like
and then they were sliding down the tent. So we like DJing, and next thing, all you see is feet and bum sliding down towards us, and we were like, whoop.
This is fun now.
This is fun. But we're going nuts. I just ended up in the pool. The one who dropped his trousers in front of the bride's father. And it's like a la-di-da guy. It is chaos.
It was brandy and coke.
Yeah, chaos, But great wedding.
Yeah.
One of the most memorable that I've done outside of 2 that I did at Sante for Australians. That was, they could party. Yeah. But it's interesting because I think a lot of people, when we talk about this kind of stuff, other people are like, why would you want to go play music for other people? But there's like this, for me at least, the social engineering side of it, which is incredible.
You're reading everything.
You're reading the people. You're going based off the list of songs that you got from them. You've spoken to the bridesmaids because they're the ones that are going to drive the dance floor.
You know it.
and it's like, this whole mix. And you're like, okay, cool. We want people to dance, right?
To lose themselves.
Bang, everybody. Now we want to move the old people back to the tables. Lekker. Now the youngsters are dancing. Now we move the older guys back and the youngsters off. You play the different tunes. And it's so much fun.
It is.
Like, so much fun.
You're pacing everything. And the thing is, so I've got a new strategy, pretty much. So what I do is, dinner usually happens. And then once dinner's done, then I'm playing exactly what you were saying. You're just warming up. You play your sing-alongs. not necessarily dancey versions, but sing-alongs. They are going to be sitting there.
Yeah.
They're going to be tapping their toes and like, oh, they're now not involved in the. They're like, oh, yeah, when last did you hear this?
Yeah.
Those vibes.
Yeah.
And you start building it, and you start building it, and it's a slide. And they're noticing that. Eventually, they're going to come and ask you, run it on.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to say, look, they first have to open the floor. It's their privilege. But after that, it's your privilege.
It's Donkey Kong, bro. It's on like Donkey Kong. Yeah.
It's on like Donkey Kong. So yeah, then it starts. I mean, then you have to get your favorites.
Yes.
Which is basically now just getting everyone on the floor. But my strategy now is that I don't play something for old, something for new. 80s is a nice middle ground.
Yeah.
So you're playing something that the oldies will know and the others will know. On if you're playing stuff like Footloose, it's a lekker rock and roll, you know. So you got your people that's into socky on the floor. You've got a little bit of everything, and that's what's so important, and that's what's so lekker, because at a wedding we forget that the last time the oldies actually got onto a dance floor
was at the last wedding.
As at the last wedding, they don't go clubbing.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah.
And they don't get necessarily invited often enough to weddings. So it's a long time. So you want them to dance.
Yeah.
A lot of people usually play something for them and get them off the floor. But it's actually their privilege, because this is where they shine. Yes. And this is where they can show a couple of the moves. So it's usually going to be socky, and it's going to be what I call clap beat. So everything that...
Yes.
So that's your jive bunnies.
I was just about to say, exactly. Dude, jive bunny saved my life on numerous occasions.
You don't want to say that in public.
Only wedding DJs will know.
So what I've done now is I don't play jive bunny, but a lot of the songs that's in jive bunny, I've got a whole mix of stuff that works in that tempo. So I'm putting Shakin' Stevens into the mix. Other stuff that people do know. And if they don't know it, it sounds lekker still.
Yeah.
So you're not going to not dance. And then you mix that in.
Yeah.
And that you can actually then go into, because the same tempo with stuff like Blinding Lights and As It Was. So now you've got the youngsters on the floor as well. And the oldies are still, because the beat is still familiar.
Yes.
So it's a whole psychological thing. And you don't lose the crowd. So now you've got everyone on the floor.
Yeah.
And then dessert comes. And it fucks everything
coffee,
up.
Dude. Coffee and dessert, and that's the end. It's like,
everyone's like, no, but it's cool because they're getting sugar.
Fair.
Yeah. Fair. Then they come back, got them again.
I've done a couple. I think like the worst wedding I ever did was a very, very Christian wedding.
Oh yeah.
So like the ceremony was in their church, the reception was in the church building, no booze.
Yeah, dry wedding.
Dry wedding.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, look, I'm a Christian guy. I go to church on the weekends. Like, I understand.
Yeah, of course, but nachmal.
But goodness gracious, like, I was just sitting there going, what am I going to do? And I was still young in my career. So I was like, you've got a few hundred songs that you can play. You know, it's just like, what is it? I used to know this off my 75 songs. You play 75 songs roughly for a normal.
Oh, yeah.
If you're playing a wedding.
I see what
75 songs dancing from beginning to end. If you started like, say, 8 o'clock or whatever else to midnight,
exactly.
75 songs gives you roughly 4 hours.
Exactly, yeah.
Depending on what you're playing. But I mean, they can go, left or right. And I looked at this, I'm like, I have to pull 75 songs. Number one, I have to keep it clean, because that was part of the spec. They had only given me 10 songs. When I asked them for a list.
You need to glue the others on.
I have to glue the others on. And I'm sitting there like, yo. And at that wedding, I learned the thing that saved me on so many others, is I went to the bridesmaids. And that was my move. Like, literally it was my move.
Of course, yeah.
Background music's going, everyone's chowing, and I would watch the bridesmaids. And you see the one that's a little feisty, and you're like, okay, that's the one.
Yeah.
And you wait, and they finish their chow, and as they finish their chow, they always get up and go to the bar.
Yeah.
And there's me queuing up a couple of songs. Off I go. Stand at the bar. Hey, ladies, how you doing? I'm the DJ. Oh, yeah. Tell me, what are your guys' favorite songs to dance to? And they and then comes 5 or 10 songs.
Yeah.
Now you know how to start your dance floor.
Yeah.
Because as long as the pretty girls are dancing, everyone else is dancing.
Of course,
it's just human
and
nature.
They sort of bride and groom approved.
Yes.
So people are going to be like, hey, they're dancing. Hey, let's go.
Yes.
So that's cool. That's a very, very good strategy.
Yeah. I don't that event I got about an hour worth of dancing and then it was just dead.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and they're like, cool, we want to listen to songs we can sing to. So then I pulled out all the, like just the sing-along songs.
Yeah.
And they sat at their tables and they sung along and they were happy.
See them tapping out.
Yeah.
Oh.
One guy came and asked for the Horsey song, you know. I still remember the first time someone did that to me. They were like, hey, how's it put? Can you play the Horsey song? What, the Horsey song? The Horsey song, bro.
Yeah, the Horsey
What
song.
kind of DJ are you? Don't know the Horsey song? I'm like, bro, hum it for me or something. I can sing it for you. I can sing it. I'm like, okay, cool.
Horsey.
Horsey, a bad moon arising.
And their jumps off. That's crazy.
But yeah, like and it's like so weird.
Yeah, it's so
every
random,
single wedding.
But it's a Suzuki.
Yeah. But every single wedding is totally different. But that song plays at every single wedding.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've played
And Brown-Eyed Girl.
Brown-Eyed Girl. Every single wedding. And then like, I mean, I used to close every wedding that I've done, my last song is closing time. Every single one.
Semisonic.
It's like,
No,
I heard it the other day and I was like, yo.
What?
You know what's scary? You're talking about the 80s, right? Right now, the 2000s are as far away from where we are now as what the 80s to the 2000s were.
Yeah.
So 2004, we were like, finding all our bump CDs and, whatever it was and everything else. And we were like, 80s, that's the old school stuff.
Now it's very old school.
Dude, it's 40.
It's like 60s.
Yeah. It's like, it's like 60s, yeah. I was like, no, bro, I'm getting really old now.
No, it's messed up. Dude, so there's a couple of other stories I got for you if you want me to chirp you.
Yeah, bro. I think the stories are fun. We'll talk a little bit about how to get into it just now, but like, the stories are fun.
I need to be careful what I say because,
Yes.
But, so, also at Bel Air and my manager friend there, he looks at me and I'm standing there and he's like, what is Rean looking at? And then he looks over and he's like, so he's from the family.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm standing there going, now at him like, oh, you also saw it. And it was the bride. All the bridesmaids were sort of dancing with their backs towards me. And she's on the other side coming onto the dance floor. And she's doing that, was that cha-cha?
Yes.
She's doing that thing. And then she just lifts and she's commando. And I'm standing there. I'm innocent. I don't know these things.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I'm crazy.
The first time, and I remember I started DJing, I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
The week I turned 18, I went to a club for the first time. It was like a house club.
Yeah.
So I started in a good place. And it was 3-4 months after that, I was DJing weddings. I'd been DJing like parties and stuff before that, but I started properly DJing weddings. And also, like, the amount of naked people at weddings and the amount of nonsense that goes on at weddings.
Yeah, it's something else.
Like, man alive. And also, like, Oaks dancing away. I'm trying to think. Oh, I remember Maritzburg College. So I used to do a couple of their events and whatever else. So they'd do like these matric events and stuff. And then there were old boy events and whatever else. And we had done a bunch of these. And I got in for one. And I think it was a birthday party for someone. And so it was like a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls. And there was a dancing. And because they know they've got 3 hours. 3-4 hours. And then it's over. Parents are coming and that's it, And so they were just hammering it back. They gave me a spectacular list of bangers.
Yeah.
And they were just pretty much
couldn't
like,
miss.
dude, just DJ, all of that, we will dance.
Yeah.
And they went nuts. And so there was this one particularly voluptuous lady or girl, probably 18 or 19 or something like that, maybe younger actually. And she was running, jumping, and then like she'd wrap her legs around the dude and he would bend down and she would like, ah, and then back up again. But she's wearing like this crop top thing, not a tube top, but but no straps, And next thing she runs, and they're like bending back towards myself and my chummy who are DJing, and next thing, doing, and I was just like, what?
All right.
But it's insane. Like people's inhibitions go bonkers. Like I don't know how many weddings like you've done, but like in terms of, I've had 10 brides in a pool, like different weddings, 10 weddings, both Australian ones, brides in the pool, grooms thrown in the pool, all the brides ladies or whatever it is, like in a pool or climbing up on a roof and jumping into a pool and doing donuts in a field with a car because they crazy stuff.
I had one wedding around the time that I was actually doing stuff for you as well, and the groom comes to me, and he's quite an elderly guy, he's a UK guy, and he married this colored chick from Cape Town, and obviously his family and her family.
Oh, that's a nice mix.
Very nice mix. And he comes to me at about just 9:30, and he says, "It's okay, you can wrap up now." And I'm like, "What? Am I playing crappy music? What's going on here?" And he says, No. It's not you. These, and he was very graphic with his language.
Yeah.
These oaks are basically just going, let me taste that, but it's all top shelf stuff. So it's Johnny Blue, Johnny Black, and Glenfiddich, and all those stuff. So he's just pointing and going, and then they're going, so, okay, that one now, that one now. There's a whole lot of them standing there.
It's costing him by the minute,
So he said, nah, call it.
Bars died, eh? Like open bars. Just died.
No. There's lots of weddings that's open bar.
Still?
Yeah.
Really?
Open. But this guy, I think he was just thinking, no, this is not classy. This is not what I had in mind. It's not tasteful. It's these guys are just being unnecessary. So.
But that kind of thing, I mean, I don't know if I was maybe just playing the wrong kind of weddings, but like the old school from 2000s open bar, where it was just go nuts.
Yeah,
and then it slowly got, for me at least, got less and less. And then it was like, okay, it's wine and beers and a selection of shots.
Yeah, these and those are to your cost.
It's no longer Johnny Walker Black on the on the bill. No, you're paying yourself. But red you can have.
Yeah.
Like that changed.
No, it changes from wedding to wedding and also from pocket to pocket. But
I
think this guy, I don't think it was about the money as much as about the way they were doing it.
It's not classy. Yeah.
So,
but that's what happens when you mix family, because we've all got that weirdo, that cousin that no one really wants to play with.
Keep him in the box.
Keep him in the box. Yeah. Jeez. That's insane, dude. Yeah.
No, it's been like that. And then old McDaddy as well talk about the bride. Just like this bride says to me, absolutely no hip hop, R&B, hip hop. Don't touch it. You touch it, you may as well just walk. So I'm fine with that because there's so much else to play.
Sure. Crowd pitches up and they're all hip hop R&B heads.
No.
Oh, not.
Can you play some twerking music? Same lady. I'm like, twerking music? Yeah, like that one that goes from the window to the wall.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, so no hip hop.
No hip hop.
She says, but twerking music. Play stuff I can twerk to. So I played a full-on hip hop set called twerking music. And I was playing the nastiest of nasty. This chick eventually strips.
No, dude.
Old McDaddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Runs to the pool, and now she's trying to encourage everyone else, and everyone's just like, no, but she's alone in the pool, and everyone's like, just no, cringe.
Yeah,
it was crazy. And then Cherry Glamping recently also I did a wedding, but that was actually,
I've wanted to go there.
Is it any good? It's quite a jewel. Yeah, it's to DJ. They've got no electricity, so everything's running off
Jenny.
I think they're now on solar.
Right. Yeah.
But then Jenny, and initially, dude, I did a ceremony and I was crapping myself because I had a speaker, just one speaker, microphone for ceremony, all you need, and then background music off a Jenny. And I'm like, are you guys sure this is AVR? And they,
Like,
yeah,
sure,
the other
it is.
DJs are playing off it. What's wrong with you? And I go to the thing and I'm like, it's not AVR. And she's now, yeah, but I don't understand. Like, I'm like, no, it needs to be a constant flow. It mustn't be as the engine goes. It needs to be a constant flow. And she's, yeah, but, like she insists. And then I think the next DJ also, but she never came back ever to say that it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I just always, when I see her, then I'm like, I'm feeling guilty, even though I know I'm right.
Yeah. But Jenny's a hard one. I mean, I did.
And then this thing was underpowered. It wasn't even 5 kVA or above. I think this thing was like, it's one of those small things. You used to, like your toothbrush will work on it,
How did you? I've actually never heard this story. How did you get into like the DJing scene, and like what does it take actually, and what was your journey into?
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I was born ready.
Okay, so standard 6, grade 8 for other people. I don't even is that right? Grade 8, yeah. Standard 6, yeah.
2, yeah.
So standard 6 and year end. So we having a year end party, and it also coincides with this chick's birthday. So now we're all clubbing money by, and we're going to get this DJ. And have we got enough? Yeah, cool. And this DJ gets there, and it's a guy called Cat, but it's spelled with 2 T's. So, yeah. And till today, this oak is like, rest in peace. But he's, in my mind, still legend. He was so knowledgeable, and he's cut off the same sort of cloth that we are. And he was so cool, like, dude, that song. And you like get a cassette.
Oh, yes.
And like, yeah, I'll make a recording for you. Yeah, here you go. Done. So he was a really cool oak. But that night at a friend of ours' place, and he pitches up there with his 2 homemade boxes, but it looked so cool. Because it had all this stuff on it, and I think the lights were even built into it.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I know the design you're talking about. I've seen.
And it's like, yes, you just like first time you see this kind of thing.
Yeah,
you didn't know that this could actually be done. And he's got 2 tape decks. And he's got a turntable, and he's playing some off there, some off there, some off there, and there's 2 of his mates sitting with pens and cassettes.
Yes,
and they're doing this.
Yeah.
And you know what was funny about it? That I even got into this not even mindset, but where you'd get a cassette and you'd know that song's on it. So you'd be able to wind it almost to the beginning of the song. And it's like the 3rd song in. You'd know at that point there.
Yeah.
I just rewind a little bit, done.
Yeah.
And then you even had tricks like where you had to roll the thing back a bit. So when you press play, it doesn't start immediately. It first winds, and then it kicks in.
Yes. Yeah. It gives like and off it goes. Yeah.
So you'd even be able to do that, and without a mixer, you'd be able to mix. And it was crazy stuff. But anyway, I digress. So Cat comes along, and he sets up, and he's got his whole. And then eventually we go and sit, and we ask, can we wind the tapes for you? And so he had a small little, remember those small tapes? With the 1 speaker and the...
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
So he had one of those, and you're like, is it this song? And he's like, yeah, to get to the beginning. So we ended up helping him on the night, and it was such a jolt. It was like the best ever. And since then, I'm like, no, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then I started just saving up. I was doing newspapers, and I started saving up all that money that I made from newspapers, and I bought my first set of turntables. And it was cock turntables, dude. Yes, but I had turntables.
Fair.
And tape deck. Like, Mama, you're not using those. You'd never play music. You're like, yes, thank you very much. Tape deck, small tape deck. Yeah, I knew from what I saw he had. And then also we used to go and visit him, and he'd be like playing music and doing, just people who come and visit him. And it used to be a little hangout. And then there were places like Disc Record Library. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
So in town, so it was like a full-on library. What you do is you go and join Disc Record Library, and you pay a membership fee. And then you can go in, and you can go, it's like a full-on record shop. You can go through all their vinyls, and you could hire the vinyl for the week.
Oh, that's cool.
And in that week, you're recording the crap out of the different mixes because it would be like instrumental, bonus beats, yeah, all the B-sides and that. And you'd be like, that's going to work so cool in my set. And it was just that. And then obviously it was ragtime, Musica.
Musica was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a lot of my first like CDs and stuff from Musica. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, like, you'd even find some golden stuff at places like Dion's, and Russell's used to have like a bargain bin with cassettes and vinyls and stuff. I mean, I bought my Midnight Oil Diesel and Dust at Dion's.
Yeah.
What? So
I remember pulling some Celine Dion something or other also because I was going to do a wedding and they were asking for it.
Yeah,
and I couldn't. And back then you couldn't just download it.
No, of course,
There's no. It's like asking your other DJ mates, bro, do you have that song?
Yeah,
John, I've got it in my CD box somewhere.
Yeah, but they're so selfish sometimes.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, dude, but I'm playing a wedding too, and I don't. I mean, like, but have they asked for that style? Nah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. Can I record it? Can I make a copy?
Please.
No.
Yeah, because he doesn't want you to have it.
No. That's piracy.
Yeah, no, then it's piracy. Yeah.
I'm like, China, I've seen your CD collection.
No, it's insane. But it was such a joy, and that's how I started off. And then I started. So my star sign is Gemini, and I've got two sides to me. So you know this. I've got the alternative side, and then I've got the wedding DJ side, and the alternative side is like the old playground and the old stage and all that kind of vibe. So that's all the heavy stuff and alternative stuff and indie post-punk and that kind of thing. And then there's the commercial side. So that's the two sides that I can actually balance well. So I started doing the alternative stuff. And why that was because I used to go to places like Galaxy and Space Odyssey and all those places. And I'd be like, oh, God, music's becoming so bubblegum. It's like you just, every week we're coming and chewing on the same bubblegum.
Yeah.
I need something else. And then someone gave me a Depeche Mode cassette. And there was a song on there. And yes, dude, the song sounded so cheesy. But the lyrics were so powerful that it just stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, I need to hear more shit like this. And that song was called The Landscape is Changing. So it goes, basically, the landscape is changing. And then the chorus goes, I don't care that you go nowhere. Just take good care of the earth.
Sure.
And I was like, no, done. No, that is what I'm into.
Yeah.
Give me more like that.
Yeah.
And then it was Talking Heads. All the new wave bands I started listening more to because this night appeal. And then I heard the Dead Heart of Midnight Oil, the song The Dead Heart. And I was like, of course, Bed Were Burning was obviously the hit. But I flipped the vinyl over and the first song on the B side, I'm like, don't serve your country, don't serve your king, know your custom, don't speak your tongue. It's like powerful stuff, dude. Yeah. And I was like, this. And for a long while, I didn't want to have anything to do with commercial.
Yeah.
And I became the DJ at the stage. And that was also because the playground closed down for a short while.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, they had a matinee for the metalheads and the punks. And the metalheads and the punks wanted to know nothing about the goths.
Yes.
So I saw a gap in the market and I was like, go to this dude and he's owning this rehearsal studio. And I'm like, dude, you've got the space. Can we do an alternative afternoon there? The metalheads are doing their thing. They don't want to play our shit. Playground's closed. He's like, yeah, go for it.
Oh, that's
do
cool.
it, yeah. And that's how the stage got born, basically. And grew from there till today. I've still got many mates that's that I know from there, from those days. Like, in actual fact, we're doing a very cool party on the 1st of November. Punting some.
Yeah, go for it, dude. Yeah, go for it.
So it's called Ballyween. So my girlfriend Megan does tribal belly dancing.
Was she ever part? Was she part of the the thing, all the stuff we did at Sante when we had all the
no,
different.
No,
okay.
different. But so she's doing tribal, which is very dark. It's very different to the Egyptian style, you know. And it's not as happy. Not that it's sad, but it's just
darker.
It's different,
more serious,
and also a bit more. If you look at it, it's something that you'd be. Whereas if you look at, in my opinion, and I have seen the Egyptian style and normal style stuff being done nicely, but again, it seems like pop music, alternative music, like what I described it, and it's not necessarily that is how it is, but that's in my opinion. So the tribal stuff is much more darker. It's much more think the carnivals from back in the day, the Jim Rowe circus, that kind of thing. It fits in with that kind of thing. So we're doing something called Ballyween, and we actually got them doing something. Then also we've got a very interesting band called, you should actually come, dude. I think this is up your alley. Dead Man Risen.
Okay.
And I don't know, they sound like a thrash version of Black Sabbath to me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's just hard and like good. A lot of the stuff that came out was a lot of black stuff and like the black metal. And I'm completely throwing you off your.
No. I'm just looking at making sure everything's still good on this side. No.
So it's a lot of it has become black metal, and I'm glad to hear that it's pulling away from that a bit now.
Yeah.
A lot of the bands are actually sounding a bit much more technical and not too technical.
Yes.
Yeah, because at some point prog metal also was like, okay, this is like when jazz became only for the jazz heads, you know.
Yeah, I've seen some, like when I was doing sound and I dived into that scene. So it's like and when I was doing like the band sound in Cape Town, when I got into the metal scene was like hoing. It was every other gig was metal.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of these guys, they get all very proud about the songs that they've written.
No,
like, look at the timing on this. Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, cool. I can't really maybe read music, but I can understand the timings and I do play. I just like 4/4 punk music, that's my vibe. But and I look at some of this stuff and I'm like, dude, did your cat throw up on that piece of paper? What is going on? Were you having a spasm when you wrote this? The timings are so weird. And they somehow pull it together and turn it into some cohesive, thing. But I don't know.
It's above my head.
It's so far beyond. I look at it and I'm like, okay, I can make it sound great, in terms of mixing the sound. But beyond that,
it's up there. It's you.
Don't even understand how you do that. Yeah.
Look, the thing is, within their own right, they are awesome. But it's very niche.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, you get different strokes. So, you've got your, so you do the commercial side because it earns you a living.
Yeah, it's the bread and butter. Yeah.
And then you've got your love.
The labor of love.
And I mean, when we talk music, and in the past even, you bring out bands that I've never heard of. Sometimes we're like, you check that out, listen to it. That's cool. Not my vibe, but cool.
Yeah.
And it just different stuff. It's,
It's exactly that. And look, the thing that I'm also doing now is I'm also finding that my scene itself has also become a bit stagnant. And so when I'm DJing...
back, just a hair.
Just a back, back. There we go.
Or just turn it up. Just turn it, now you can go for it. Yeah.
So when I... Yeah.
Now you can hear it. Yeah.
When I actually... when I'm DJing now, I'm bringing a lot of tricks that I learned from the commercial thing.
Yeah.
I've actually started remixing a lot of the songs that I'm DJing in the alternative scene so that it's DJ friendly. And then, what that means.
Yes. Yeah, it means that it actually has a bit of an intro, some bars in the front with beats that you can match tempos and...
You got it.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that and just giving it a bit more energy. And that's what I've actually... So what I've noticed nowadays is almost like when I say almost, there are some that don't take to it. What I've done is, and even if I do it normally, because aside from being able to add a couple of bars in the beginning, there are tools on the controllers now or on the CDJs now that allows you that.
Oh, cool.
So I can make a loop with something, use that to mix, and then I just mix it in. So I can, on the fly, recreate it into a DJ edit. But I've completely lost my train. So I've got I've got the two stuff. So now when you're actually playing pop stuff and you do it like, that's what I was trying to get to. When I play pop stuff and I'm doing exactly that, where I loop a bit so that I've got a bit of a leeway on the side and it can beat match and I've got a nice transition. Now when I'm doing that, people still come to me and say, stop playing remixes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. And this actually happened at Stonehurst, where this guy came and he said, yes, dude, we use him as a benchmark. And he came to me and he said, yeah, no, that hour that you guys played extra, I'm not going to pay for it because we told you distinctly not to play remixes. Sent him the list. Because on the program, I can actually generate a list. And I sent him the list, or actually I sent it to Dave, and Dave was like, no, here's the list. There were no remixes. You said it in your briefing. We didn't play remixes. However, my DJ was actually DJing it.
Yeah.
He wasn't Winamp. He was actually DJing it. And that's what you heard. So if the beat was on top of each other, it's going to sound a bit more.
Yeah, of course.
But that hypes people.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just didn't get it. Anyway, he didn't pay. I think that was the point. And
I had that once.
Yeah.
Once.
No, you always just have it once.
I had it once. And then after that, I was like, cash in my hand 5 minutes before the new hour. So you reach whatever you've quoted.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember at Sante once, this, I think it was one of the Aussie weddings, and it was, they started a bit late and blah, 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 and the dancing only really kicked at like 10:30.
Yeah.
So now you're cruising towards 12. I mean, you blink and you're there. And I was looking for the bride, and I went to the one guy who was part of the wedding party. I don't think he was like one of the groomsmen, but he was there, you know. And I said to him, hey, man, we've got like 15 minutes and then we're done.
Yeah.
And unless, like, here's the rate card, that's what they've agreed to, the contract, blah, blah, blah. And my pricing always used to escalate, which
of
hurts
course
people's feelings. But the later you go, the more you kind of want. And he's like, he looks at me dead in the eyes. He's like, don't you dare stop playing. I'll make sure you've got your money. I said, bro, you've got 15 minutes. Like,
make it happen.
I'm just not playing that game. There's
those
no
are words.
Yeah.
Word cash.
And it comes, and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm going, and I've got closing time queued, bro. That's it's my song.
That's your jam.
And next thing there's skids in behind me, and it was like a flippin' drug deal, dude. It was like money rolled up in his palm, and he shook my hand, and he grabbed me around on the shoulder. He's a young dude. He was 19. I was like in my late 20s, and he goes, "You're gonna play good tunes, eh? You're gonna play good tunes."
Yeah.
All right, my boy. And he shook my hand and left the money in my hand. I'm like, oh, that was just odd.
Yeah, that was awkward.
This kid, I played until 4:30, and this kid, 5 minutes to every hour, he was running around crowdfunding.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
He was running around crowdfunding with all the guests. The bride came to me at 3 a.m. and was like, why are you still playing? And I said, they're paying me to play. I thought you were paying me to play. She goes, I haven't paid a cent. I'm like, well, money keeps arriving. I keep playing.
Yeah, exactly. No, so on my take on that is, so I do predominantly weddings. We do some corporates and stuff as well. But on either of those, when it comes to half past, then I would go to the bride and groom. And my nicer way of saying, 15 minutes left, I would say, would you guys like a final song to end the night off on? And then they're like,
what?
is it already that time? Yeah. Then it's that.
Yeah.
Or do you like to go? Or you guys like to continue? Then they will make that decision, or they will come back to me and say, okay, let's just do it a nice way. Just do the song, Robbie Williams, Angels, or something like that, and then it ends nice. But it also doesn't make them feel like, because sometimes they are tired.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes they want to go. Yeah, I've had tons of those. You go to them, the party's going nice, lekker. And you're like, hey guys, you're going to carry on, or we're going to end? And they're like, no, we're done, bro. We're done. Yeah.
Literally, we're done. Yeah. So that's the one thing. Other side of it is where they actually want you to go on.
Yes.
So I'll go until 1. If they want me to go until 2, then they have to accommodate.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because usually...
I suppose depending where you are,
And also it takes me an hour to strike.
Yeah.
And that puts it to 3 o'clock. Then it takes me another hour and a half to drive home. And this is from Elgin, Robertson, Wellington, all those places.
Yeah.
So it's an hour to 2 hours drive, and that puts the sun in your face when you're coming home.
Yeah. I normally, I used to, on my contract, I was looking through all my old files and I found one of my, and I think it was like 100 Ks or 80 Ks or something. I had different things where I was like, okay, cool. Like, if we're going to play to this time, then this has to happen, and I need somewhere to crash. And,
no, exactly that.
And not a couch.
And you need to show me where my room is.
Yes, that always helps,
Because the worst thing...
You stop playing music and you're striking, striking's packing up for all the people that don't know. You're packing up, and then everyone's gone.
Yeah.
And it's you and some random oak from the bar who's like, are you done yet? I want my clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
the
where
bar,
am I sleeping, bro?
Dude, when I am playing, the bar's done at 10 o'clock. Sometimes 12.
Yeah.
But not after 12. Then it's an open bar. Then they just bloody... The guys go stand there. Yeah, what will you hear? Then it becomes that, and it becomes a free-for-all. But 2 o'clock basically puts me at home at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So that's what I say. I mean, like, honestly speaking, it's my life. So either you accommodate me, and then I'll play till 3 o'clock. But no later.
Yeah.
And also the place wants you out at 10 o'clock. So if you stop at 6 o'clock...
for them it doesn't help. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, but what kind of sleep are you getting? Because now they're leaving, or they're getting up and like, bro, how was that?
Yeah.
That kind of thing, and you can't sleep.
No, you can't.
So I usually call it at 2.
If you were to give, I always talk about my fictitious biggest fan. His name is Frikkie. He's from like Benoni, mullet, wife beater, white vest. That's how I see him. I don't know why, but and
Frikkie, of course,
Frikkie's the oak who's getting motivated by this podcast to do whatever. Like what if Frikkie wants to become a DJ? What's like 3 or 4 things that he can do that to sort of get to that point? How does he do it nowadays, especially?
Sure. For me, the most important thing about being a DJ is being open. It depends what kind of DJ. What kind of DJ does Frikkie want to become?
I mean, gosh, I don't know.
What do you want to become?
What does Frikkie want to become? I don't know, wedding DJ.
Wedding DJ,
let's go
okay.
There,
you have to be completely open to any type of music. So when I say that, when I'm DJing, I'm DJing anything from salsa, which dembow, bachata, then I'm doing Afro beats, then I'm doing Nigerian stuff, I'm doing sembas, which is from Angola. That's things that generally DJs don't know or know to play.
Bro, you are one of the very few that I know of that play you've got an insane range of music,
And then Russian.
Okay.
I don't even know, but somehow I wing it. And I get it right, to the point where this one bridesmaid came to me and she spoke to me in Russian, and I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean? You've been playing all our songs. Like,
yeah.
Well,
the Aussie weddings, they've got a guy like our Johnny Clegg effect.
Yeah.
But the Aussies have got their own version of Johnny Clegg. And and when one of them came over and the guy said to me, look, find this music. I battled. But I found like 3 songs eventually after hours of trawling the internet and, begging and pleading on forums and stuff. And, geez, you put the song on, they go nuts. Bro.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like Leon Schuster. I know which one you're talking about. It's that funny kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like almost like a Johnny Clegg vibe, but just maybe an Aussie, slightly more Aussie version. And I was like, yo. Okay, so breadth of music.
Yeah, so understanding and acceptance, being open to it. That's a good way in because it opens you up to much more when you are DJing, to get decent gear, to respect your gear.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all know about rolling up cables.
Yeah.
A simple thing like that. My good advice to most DJs not to most DJs, to anyone in the sound industry is, so I'm going to ask you the question, see if you can answer it. Are you ready?
Bring it.
What's the best microphone?
There's no such thing.
Okay.
What's the purpose?
Okay, let's general, like
general
wedding,
all round mic, speech mic, SM58 all day.
SM58 all day,
or a Beta 58A if you can afford it. Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, nice.
However, the SM58 is the better mic. Just between the two, the Beta is more for studio.
Sure.
Controlled environment.
Yes.
Doesn't handle feedback as well. So I use a Beta 58, cordless. But I've got a graphic on my mixer. Yes. So I can pull out 1K.
Yeah. So I'll answer with the 58 always, because like the 58 is the industry standard. So I like the AKG D7.
No, D7 and D5. Yeah.
Oh,
I think D5 better than D7. Again, studio mic.
More. It's got more high end on it.
Yeah. So it's for this kind of environment.
Yeah. So I almost went with the D7s for the podcast. So very close. Yeah.
So that's a good answer. But the correct answer is the one that works.
Sure. Yeah.
No, sure.
Sure.
See what you did there.
Yeah, the one that works. Yeah.
The one that works. I mean, like DI, which is the best? BSS? No, the one that works. Because when you need it, and that guy needs to make a speech, he doesn't care what he's talking through.
They don't know what they're talking through.
Yeah, generally. A lot of them do, but generally, even if they do know, the fact that you could supply him with a mic that could amplify him, Problem solved.
Yeah.
So
the right gear. Yeah.
The right gear, but also reliable gear.
Yes.
And also don't knock gear that is inferior. Like let's say a Gemini mic or a Samsung mic. Don't knock it, because if your mic is not working, that mic is going to come in very handy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so that's a little trick question that when I was doing you remember I did the DJ school?
Yes.
When I was doing the DJ school, it was a little trick question I used to throw in there about gear. So Frikkie, you want to become a DJ, I would say by the industry standard, if you're quoting something that goes against everything that I believe in, because I always go for the underdog. So people go for Pioneer, I'll go for Denon. People go for Shure mics, I'll go for AKG, and so on and so on.
Yeah, or Audix or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. And Audix is awesome.
Yes, I like an Audix experience.
So my answer is against my better nature. Dave mustn't be watching this because he'll be smiling. Get a Pioneer controller if you're starting. Get a cheapie, the most affordable one, which I think is a DDJ 400. Get that. And so when you're quoting, you're saying Pioneer.
Sure.
People generally know that. Then yes, sure is the next thing. You want to get even a PG58. Get something like that, the cheapest one. But it's again, people are brand orientated.
Yeah.
And then just a set of JBL speakers.
Yeah.
Get yourself going again.
Yeah. Everyone knows a JBL.
Everyone knows. So when you're quoting, it helps a lot. And that's how you'd start, and then get to know your music. Get to know where to get your music.
Yeah.
You're probably going to ask me that next, but okay.
Well, I mean, nowadays getting music is actually, I suppose it's harder.
No, it's easier.
Is it easier?
It's
Like, I haven't DJ'd in. So since I've known Lee, I haven't DJ'd. I've known Lee 7.5 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
you actually just realized now.
No, I'm going. Yeah, but I made so I'd say 9 years, maybe 10 years ago is the last time I actually DJ'd.
Sure.
Yeah, but I made a weird decision. It was at Santé. I was doing a dance floor and some fairy lights, and they were doing an event right at the end of what they were doing.
Megan actually remembers something, but go on. Yeah, go on.
And this guy pulls in with a Mazda Rustler bucky, white, the normal white Mazda Rustler with a canopy on. And I was like, oh, okay, must be the dude doing the sound or the DJ. And out got this like 62-year-old dude, white hair, a little bit of a beer boop, and proceeded to start unpacking his bucky. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't want to become that guy. I don't want to be in my 60s, carting. And I wouldn't mind being in my 60s, but I've got 2 appies that are unpacking, all of that, And I looked at it and I was like, yo. And I turned everything corporate. And I went into, I still did the events. I still DJ'd for 2-3 years after that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, it never became the end goal. I was
it became it became a bug. Yeah. It nagged.
Yeah. And I went back into sales again. That's what I'm doing now. Back into sales because I was just like, I can't be that guy.
Can't be that. Yeah.
And it's a slippery slope to get there,
So that is sort of where I am right now. Exactly there. Ironically. I also can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. However, I can see myself running a company that does this.
Yeah.
And then, or being part of a company that does this, and then delegating and having someone going to set up, and then I'll come and DJ.
Yeah.
That's cool. Someone strikes afterwards, that's cool. It's where I want to be, and that's what I want to. That's sort of where I'm aiming, but there's more to that.
Yeah,
we'll chat again about that because that's another.
No, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that where not that gig, but at Frida and List, I had to go and take down some fairy lights for you.
Yeah.
And Megan was with me.
Okay.
And that's she. Yeah, you met Megan, man.
Yeah, I've met her. Yeah. I've met her.
But she was with me, and whenever I say Des, and then she's like, Des? Fairy lights, Des. Oh.
Jeez, I had a kilometer of fairy lights at one stage.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was
a lot, yeah.
It was a lot, but it makes good money.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it was a good business. Yeah, it was. If I were to ask you, what does growing a pair mean to you?
Wow. What growing a pair means to me is actually the middle finger to corporates, to corporation, to the boss, to the CEO, to showing, like, you know what I'm having constant conversations with a certain buddy of mine. And I say to him, you know what, you are so talented, but every time I speak to you, it is about how unhappy you are in your job. What's stopping you from starting a consulting company? Where you are working, people are quitting around you. But you picking up their flack, because now your workload doubles, triples. For each person, you are actually picking up the flack. The boss he doesn't care. He will listen to you, look sympathetic, but months will go by before nothing is done and you're having the same conversation. Why don't you start a consulting agency where you train up guys to do what you want them to do, outsource the work back to that guy? That's growing a pair.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Take your destiny into your own hands.
Like it. Dude, we are at the end of it. Just over an hour.
Awesome.
It's been great. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate it. This has been like so much fun. I think there's going to be like 2 or 3 DJs that'll watch it and be like, yo, that's great. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, it's too crazy, bro.
I think that it was so much more that could have been added.
Yeah, tons. Yeah.
But we need to be mindful of.
Yeah, there's time and people's. Yeah, I like to do an hour or just over an hour.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like mentioning names.
Oh
and being
yeah,
careful
you've got
about
to.
venues
you
and
have
stuff.
to. Yeah.
So some venues are mentioned just to give them a bit of a punt, but there's so much more.
Yes.
And but thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure, dude. Cool, man. Lekker.
Lekker.
Cheers, guys.